guys are probably wondering like how much it is um, to do a water filtration like ours, including the reverse osmosis and stuff. We did discuss and debate about it, like is it worth the money? Good morning, fans. So it's 6 o'clock, and today there's playoff game with the Warriors and Lakers, Dub Nation. So yeah, so today we're gonna do some barbecue, and we're gonna talk about the water system here, options, and what we did for our house. Probably just gonna do oven baked briskets today, and because I don't have a smoker, but this is when we wake up in the morning and get out of the house or out the front door. That's what you see right here. Cows running around. Oh, there's two of them. They're Kalua's friends. And ducks. They're scared. So anyways, we still have a little problem still with our pressure tank or booster motor turning on like every 10 minutes or so. We have our booster motor right there. It's there because it delivers majority of the pressure towards the upstairs bathrooms, and supplementary to the downstairs, which is the bathroom right here. So the issue that we had, like I said, is that the booster motor turns on like every 10 minutes or so. And we kind of narrowed it down because it's either your motor is, or your pressure tank or your bladder tank, or your motor pressure switch has a defect. But we eliminated that by double checking it and replacing it if it needs replacement. And it still does it. So what we did is, well, the other thing is why it does that is probably there's a leak somewhere. So now with the piping system here, if you didn't use PPR, we didn't use PPR on ours. Took out a little bit of cost, but we used the Atlanta pipes. The Atlanta pipes are pretty good when it comes to, like, especially if you're burying it in a thing. You actually use solvent to kind of fuse them together and all that. If you didn't do it correctly, or you just, like sometimes contractor would like put it in there, or while the pipes were still wet, you can't do that, or you didn't hold it for like a few seconds and let it infuse. From what I've heard, that if you don't hold it together when you're infusing it with a solvent, it sometimes kind of pops out a little bit. So, and when you're if you have no pressure, then it could be fine, but if you're putting pressure on it, then there's a tendency to leak. So what we did is eliminate the pressure tank issue or motor issue, and we don't have a problem there. We double checked it, and we actually put a shutoff valve right there. This one right here. That's the pipe that goes to our bathroom downstairs. and the garden faucet, like side wall faucet. I don't know what you call that, but so what we did is we could shut off that valve, and that's when we noticed that that thing stopped. So somewhere along the line we checked our garden hose, our garden faucet or side faucet has no problem because it's not leaking, and the contractor actually checked here. There's no leak. The pipe goes through here and then through here, I believe, where the wall is, where the shower and all that. So if the leak is somewhere here, they had to basically chisel the side and look at the joints on there. I know it looks like a daunting job, but it's for them it's like normal to be able to do that, because that's what they work with. They work with concrete, they work with all this stuff, all that issues and stuff like that. We even make sure the gaskets are okay on this, all that, on these faucets. This one is drinking and this one is regular water, filtered water. Like some of our family would come here and get some drinking water from us if they need it in an emergency. But yeah, but let me explain to you guys what happens and where it comes from, the water source and all that. So there's two water sources here in the Philippines. They could go, especially I'm just talking about here in Iloilo. In Iloilo you have the Nawasa, or coming from the Metro Pacific water, the water that you actually pay for, and then there's the deep well, which is the Tasok that I've been mentioning back when we were building this. So I'll show you guys. So that's the deep well. There's basically a pipe that goes all the way underneath, and it's serrated on the tip. That way water could go through it. The water line actually goes into there. It creates a little well underneath, or a big well, depending on how long you've been doing it. You've been sucking water in there. It gets bigger as time goes by. That's the first one we did. That's when we first started the building the house. So for some reason that one didn't have consistent water. That's why we made a second one. But you can still use this. It's just not sufficient enough water source for the system that we have. So what happens is we get water from the deep well, and it goes to a cistern tank, makeshift cistern tank, like this one right here. And the reason why we want to do this right now, because especially we're starting, we're still new to the water deep well thing. There are times that it's still sucking sand out of that deep well that I was talking about. So when you're sucking sand in there, if you put it in a cistern tank, it basically goes into this tank, and then sand will go down, and then you have this pipe that goes into our water filtration system halfway, so it doesn't suck that much of the sand. That way we preserve the life of our water filtration. So from this pipe, it goes into our water filtration system. Our water filtration system is by Parex. There's their number if you guys need to call them. They're by Parex. They do the Eversure water refilling station. So it's usually like about 30 to 40 minutes to fill up our tank upstairs. It's we have a 1,000 liter water tank up on the roof. So what it does basically, just to give you guys an idea, so from the cistern tank, this motor actually is the one that pulls it out there. There's a pressure support pressure tank if needed. You don't really need it. You could do just straight up from there. It's actually a bladder tank, but it's good to to push just in case it's not much. It doesn't have enough pressure to push it all the way through these filters into the tank. You have the bladder tank to do that work for you. So anyways, so it's run by a breaker right here. So this breaker right here actually is attached to our float inside the tank. So when the tank fills up, it actually automatically just turns off, and if the tank is low, maybe like halfway, then it automatically turns on there. Now for some people or some houses over here, they just let it overflow, and then when it's overflowing, then they just turn it off. So it's all like manually done. If they notice that there's no more water, especially if you don't have pressure tanks or booster tanks and stuff like that, they just notice the water is low, they just basically pull up water, push water up to their tank again. So basically that's how it works. And whether you're getting it from Atasok, which is the deep well, or from Nawasa, which is the one that you pay for. Time to feed the animals again.
Come on.
Yeah. So from the cistern tank, we actually put a stockings on that, so it filters more of the sand out of there. It's not a big sand, it's like fine sand. It's not coarse or anything like that, it's fine sand, but just to like kind of preserve and lengthen the life of these tanks. So it sucks in there, it goes into the first filtration system, which is the multimedia filter, where there's carbon and the multimedia in here, and then you get the softener, the water softener, and the salt brine, because to activate the softener you need to have a salt brine in there. A lot of the people that has houses usually kind of gets turned off because you have to buy the salt. It's on the expensive side, but you have your filtered water. You're not like you have clean water, showering in clean water. And then it goes to a filtration system right here, and then it goes to that pipe, and it goes up into the tank, up in the roof right there. Why did you want filtered water?
Because the skin's very
sensitive. Yeah, so our family skin, except for me, are very sensitive to like some of the water, even like in LA water, which is pretty hard.
I can't even go into swim at the Lake Tahoe. With the lake, because I start to get allergies too. So
yeah,
and that's the lake, and Lake Tahoe.
Keep Tahoe blue.
Yeah.
There you go. So this is where we put the salt. This is not cooking salt, by the way. This is for the water softener. So every week we backwash. We're probably gonna backwash tomorrow. We would backwash today, but there's a game. So the backwashing is basically clearing up the filter, making sure that it's maintained and stuff like that. So it takes about a total of about an hour and a half, depending on the size of your tank and stuff like that. We actually got the bigger tank, where like the one you use on the water filtration like stations here, because our friend from Pyrex didn't have the smaller version of this, so we opted for the bigger one because we couldn't wait. So we had that. If you are in a water filtration business, you actually have an extra tank just for carbon, multimedia and carbon. But for home use, this is sufficient enough. So that's for our water. So those are the water that we use for showering, washing dishes, bathroom, and even for like watering plants and stuff like that, because it goes through the pipes and all that. And giving to the animals like the rabbits, the dogs and stuff like that. So also have a reverse osmosis system also from Pyrex, and because that could also save us money from and time, getting out of our way to go to water refilling stations and fill up those blue jugs. And yeah, it saves us money because right now it increased. When we first got here, it was like 15 pesos, right? 18 pesos per gallon, or not gallon. When I say gallon, it's those big blue ones right there.
Almost 5 gallons.
Somewhere there, 5 gallons, and now it's up to 30. So it's just gonna go up because prices are, inflation is real. So we covered our reverse osmosis right now because we're not done with the dirty kitchen yet. Let me show you guys. There you go. There's the UV light right there where it kills the bacteria, and then you go through this filter system. What we do is we plug this in, we plug in the UV light like that, and then there it goes. It's also run by a pressure pump behind this counter right here. So it's not automatic that you could like drink it right away. What we do is we actually run it first, and then we bought a TDS meter for this, so that way we could tell if it's safe to drink already or not. Yes, it's not like from the States where it's ready to go right when you turn on the faucet. We maybe it is, but we just want to make sure that we're drinking safe water out so here. Like I said, our water treatment is by Pyrex. They are located in Haro, Iloilo City, Haro, in front of the Toyota, right?
Across Toyota.
Or across the street from the Toyota dealership, somewhere there. They have a office there with all their equipments. You could actually contact them on that number right there, and yeah, you could look for Ian, and they could consult with you on if your water or your water source is good enough and sufficient enough for the water filtration, because there are some water around here in the city that are not advisable to use with the water filtration. You'll be like losing money in that case. You might as well just have water delivered to you, because the filters could only do so much. If your water is not really that good, then here Pyrex will advise you that it's not suited for a filter. either go with a different source like Nawasa, where you pay and then have it filtered. Back in the days, Nawasa used to be our drinking water, but now because of contaminations and stuff like that, I mean, it's still fairly clean water, but it's not. I would not suggest to drink it. Right now, here in the Iloilo, here in the Philippines, the restaurants are required, unlike before, are required to serve purified water for drinking. So they can't just like use tap water now and all that stuff. So anyways, let me talk to you guys about the Tasok real quick, which is the underground deep well here in Mandurriao. The water line is about 25 feet, I believe, 25 to 30 feet down. So if you're digging for the Tasok about 25 to 30 feet down, you'll hit the water line, and that's where you get abundance of water. Like I said, it needs to be sucked out because it has to create a well underneath. That way you won't have like as much sand or no sand at all once you create the well. Now this whole system is actually designed, I actually had it to make sure that it just automatically sucks water, goes into cistern. When the tank is full, it turns off. All that is designed to be just automatic. The only reason why I'm manually doing it right now, because I'm not fully confident yet that the well has fully developed underneath, because I could still kind of see sand getting sucked out of there. There are times like during summertime where you run out of water. Well, not completely run out of water. The water's still there, but not much coming from the source. You can tell by the pressure of water that's getting sucked out of from the ground. And then you'll see it where it's brownish, the color. It's not dirty per se, it's just sand coming out the water. So I had to like kind of let it suck it out and clear it out for a few minutes, and then really wash it and then put it in the cistern. I mean, the cistern will do its job, where it basically sand will just sink to the bottom of the drum or the water tank here, and we just want to make sure that not that much sand goes inside the cistern. We do have to clean it once in a while, the cistern tank, because you can't avoid having sand on the bottom of there. But anyway, so you guys are probably wondering like how much it is to do a water filtration like ours, including the reverse osmosis and stuff. Like I said, you guys could contact Parex and they could consult with you guys on how much it will cost you for your application. But for ours, we spent about 100,000 pesos, a little bit over, like 104,000 pesos, somewhere there. For us, it's worth it. It is a lot of money, but it is worth it for us, for health, like having clean water, and saving. Sorry, the rabbits are mating. What the heck? Anyways, yeah, so it's a peace of mind for us to have clean water while you were showering. We have drinking water here. We don't have to like go to a water refilling station to get water and pay them. We have them here. And the only reason why it's like 100,000 pesos is because we have the bigger tanks in here. So if you have the skinnier tanks, the smaller tanks, it's probably gonna drop another 20,000 pesos, so like about 80,000, and that's including the reverse osmosis, by the way. But that's today's price. It could be different in the future because prices are going up. Like I said, just contact Parex and they could consult with you what you need, and yeah, they could help you out. Yeah, it's a lot of money, but it's gonna be well worth it in the long run. A lot of our stuff that we do here, we did in our house, we did discuss and debate about it, like, is it worth the money? Like, we pay more now, but it will help us in the future. So that's the video for today, guys. This is not a sponsored video or anything like that. We just disclosed like who we were going with the stuff that we have in our house, and hopefully this helped you guys out, especially if you are not living here in the Philippines, if you are out there somewhere out in the world, in the States or whatnot. That was one of the stuff that we kind of can't really see in the States when we were in the States. Like, you know, who do we go with? It's really you have to have boots on the ground over here to find out like what's good and what's effective and what would work with you and all that stuff. Yeah, I guess it's different if you're just looking online, as to like if you have family over here that could check it out, that you could trust, or knows your what you're looking for, or your requirements you're looking for and stuff like that. Yeah, so hopefully this helps, and we gotta go because I had to like preheat the oven, put the brisket in there, and watch the game. Go Dubs. See you guys on the next.
'Cause one day we'll be looking back at this. We were in a big mess together, but we found a way to choose right from wrong. We found the strength to go